All right, let's get into it.
Breaking news from an article that just came out today. American doctors applying to Canada to work there has risen 750% just in the last few months. One doctor that was born and raised here and went to medical school here said he's really sorry for leaving his American patients, but he's already packed up his family and moved to Canada. He said he is afraid for what's going on with our American healthcare. Another physician was quoted as saying, "Physicians are supposed to be kind when we're taking care of our patients. These patients are at their weakest and most vulnerable. Instead, the healthcare system is devolving, that we can't take care of these patients with our hearts." The statistics in this article said over 615 doctors have applied to go work in Canada. At this same time last year, it was only 70.
Last year, only 70 American doctors applied to practice in Canada. This year, in 2025, that number has jumped to 6 of 15. That's not a small increase, that's a massive shift. And it says a lot, even without knowing every detail behind it. I'm not an expert on the US medical system, but from what I do know, it's expensive, chaotic, and doctors have to fight tooth and nail and work long hours. But going from 70 to 615 applications in just 1 year, that's not just about money. Something bigger is driving this. Trump's administration cutting funding, rewriting policies, making it harder for professionals to do their jobs. I'm sure there are dozens of reasons. And American doctors are clearly fed up. What matters here is that the data doesn't lie. And it looks like Canada might be on the receiving end of a wave of new doctors.
Other physicians were quoted as saying, "I can't even take care of patients like I used to. This country isn't what it used to be." And they have stated they're embarrassed to be called Americans. Yes, Canada is a socialized healthcare system, but these doctors that were interviewed in this article said they're not concerned about the drop in income. They're more concerned about the devolving healthcare system in the US. Their driving force have been the severe cuts to Medicaid that probably will go through, placing people in leadership positions, and they quoted RFK Jr., who even states himself, "You shouldn't take medical advice from me." And the way the budget for healthcare is being rearranged. They're diverting dollars away from the pandemic preparedness, as well as multiple other things we've seen in the news.
So, between the budget mess, Medicaid changes, and whatever RFK Jr. is rambling about, it's no surprise doctors are hitting their limit with the US government. But listen closely to this next part. It's from a doctor who moved from the US to Canada a few years ago. She explains exactly why the move changed everything for this doctor, and more importantly, how it's helped this doctor actually care for their patients better.
A physician that moved her family in 2017 from America to Canada said now she can take care of her patients without feeling like she's burdening them with medical debt, and that she feels she can take care of them better. She has less paperwork, it's less being a non for profit up there in Canada. She doesn't feel the pressure to serve so many patients in an hour, like every 5 to 6 minutes. They're scheduled here in the US, she said, and Canada operates in a really different pace, allowing her time to truly care for her patients. I just thought this was really interesting data and information. I'm really afraid for the healthcare system, as you guys have heard me on many of my videos that I've recorded, but this is a new turn that I hadn't expected, that American physicians would give up their medical licenses here in America and go work where they're not under the pressure that they are.
I want to give a shout out to Dr. Julie Seamers for breaking down what's really happening with the medical system in the US. It's actually refreshing to see that so many doctors are ready to make the move, leaving the US behind to practice right here in Canada. Now, sure, some folks like to complain about our healthcare system. Long wait times, months to get an appointment. I get it. But as someone who's lived in a developing country for 4 years where the system works like the US, let me tell you, I'll take Canada's setup any day. You want antibiotics? You pay first. Need stitches? Better pay before the needle even hits your skin. Ambulance ride? You don't get out until you've paid up. And if you can't, they'll come after your wages. It felt like the Wild West where I lived. So yeah, our system has issues, but I'll take those over profit-driven chaos. Now, the next clip I'm going to show is from Global News. It's a few months old, but it's a solid reminder of the growing wave of American doctors quietly making the move north and how little attention this shift is actually getting. Let's take a look.
I just wanted an American experience.
Pediatrician Dr. Karen Ginsberg grew up in Toronto but chose to pursue higher education south of the border, attending Cornell University in upstate New York and then heading to New York City for medical school. Ginsberg says she's not sure she wants to keep practicing in the U.S., citing rising costs, low pay, and the political climate. She's reached out to recruiters about opportunities in Canada.
Already I've spoken to one person and they're ready to take me on tomorrow as long as I have my license.
Ginsberg is part of a small but growing trend. The Medical Council of Canada says interest from south of the border has gone up significantly in the past 6 months. One metric is the number of medical graduates opening accounts on physiciansapply.ca, a key step in eventually landing a job in Canada. That number has risen by 583% compared to the same period last year. Agents have also been fielding.
This spike in numbers actually lines up with what Dr. Julie Seamers mentioned earlier. If we're really talking about 615 American doctors applying to practice in Canada, yeah, it's a big jump from last year. Now, to be realistic, once those doctors are spread across the entire country, it might not feel like a massive change. But when you're dealing with a shortage like we are, any increase helps. No one's going to complain about having more doctors in Canada. I know I sure won't.
About 100 calls per month from people in the U.S., marking a 33% increase compared to September and October 2024.
Some who are in specific specialties and disciplines may have an interest worrying about how their practice may be impacted, so really looking to practice the way they would like to practice and be flexible.
Katrina Filopoulos is the Director of Physician Recruitment for Nova Scotia Health. 2 years ago, that province changed the rules to allow American board-certified physicians to practice and have a full license without doing additional examinations. U.S. numbers have gone up steadily since then.
We recruit about 30% of our internationally trained physicians, and about 5 to 7% are from the U.S. market specifically. And so we expect that to increase over the next year in particular.
British Columbia has also been looking to reduce red tape in applications, and the CEO of Doctors Manitoba says it is actively trying to recruit physicians from the U.S. by taking ads out in Florida, South Dakota, and North Dakota.
So yeah, despite all the chaos over the past 4 months and the shitstorm that's likely to continue for the next 4 years, there's actually a silver lining here. Canada might finally get the doctors we desperately need. More physicians coming north could seriously ease the pressure on our medical system. But what do you think? Would you welcome American doctors who want to build a life here and actually help? Let us know in the comments. And if this video hit home or gave you something to think about, tap the like and subscribe. We're inching closer to a big milestone, 10,000 subscribers. And honestly, I'm still blown away by how far we've come. Thanks for being here. Take care, and we'll catch you in the next one.